and welcome to Manuel Goes Racing, and today we are in AMS2 having a look at the latest update, which is the first anniversary update in fact. So before we go into that, which will be 1.1.3.5, I have the last video was for version 1.1.2.1, so I thought we'll just have a quick run through, and I mean quick, for the 1.1.2.3 and 1.1.2.5 updates, and just go through anything that they might have added that I might have thought was important, or just keep you up to date really. So 1.1.2.3 added support for new Logitech SDK, the TrueForce technology, and the G923 controller. Live track now applies even standard water saturation across whole track at start of session if the first weather slot is rainy. Previously, racing line would be slightly drier. Fixed bug where live track wasn't correctly identifying covered areas such as a zero tunnel, so it was raining in the tunnels. Tyre tread physics adjustments for Formula Reiza, Formula V10, Formula Ultimate, Formula Classic, Formula Vetro, Formula Vintage, Pro Car, Group A, Group C, Supercar. That's just a lot of cars. Formula Classic, all cars, adjusted rear wing efficiency, minor pneumatic trail adjustments for Formula Retro, Formula Vintage, Formula Classics and Lancer Cup, reduced braking distance threshold for AI on Formula cars, AI calibration pass for Formula Reiza, Formula Vintage, Formula Trainer, Group C, reduced distance AI cars factor cars behind to take a defensive line, adjusted AI grip multi for Nürburgring Vidal layout, added new stock car Omega engine sounds, adjusted Mercedes CLK GT1 shift sounds and external engine sounds, Nürburgring art and optimization pass for all layouts, Brands Hatch added VR trackside cams, Mini Cooper 1965 reworked rear number plate, added additional skin. Lotus 23 replicated default official liveries to help fill up the grid, 4 in total. Formula Ultimate added dirt scratch map. Ginetta G40 GT5 added new livery, number 28, Mike Chanel. Version 1125 content added stock car 2021 series. I'm just trying to remember if they were added as a championship. I think they might have been. UI and HUD. Fixed AI name occasionally disappearing from list in session timing board. Fixed name text being partially clipped in session timing board. Added missing DRS on track maps of circuits featuring DRS zones, namely Azure, Hockenheim Rim, Imola, Kansai, Montreal, Nürburgring, Silverstone, Spa, Francorchamps and Spielberg. Made some good films he did. Physics and FFB. Further tweaks and cleanup of new TrueForce device and Logitech SDK support. Added pneumatic trail, caster trail, rear wheels forces, says RARA, as customizable variables FFB script. Fixed in-session per V or FFB adjustments not being maintained when restarting a session. Revised Formula Retro tyres, there is no carriage return there. Minor tyre tread adjustments for Formula Vintage, Formula Trainer, GT3, P1, Intermediate and Wet compounds. Initial pass on tyre wear revisions for various compounds, work in progress. Adjusted splitter stroke front wing height sensitivity for Group A, Formula Vintage, Formula Classic, Copa Classic, Hot Cars, Ginetta G58, Camaro, GT4R, Formula Trainer, Supercart, Arc Camaro. Corrected error on Opala differentials introduced in the previous build, which led to it not being fully open. Adjusted Ginetta G58 damper rates. Adjusted pneumatic trail for Porsches and Formula Vintages. Reduced pitch and yaw sensitivity for Group C cars. Adjusted Pro Car default rear arb and clutch setting. Minor timing adjustments to Formula Ultimate gearbox. AI further calibration of AI wet weather performance, further customised AI brake distance offset per car, minor Bathurst AI grip adjustments, audio, updated sprint race transmission wine, updated Porsche 911 GT1 engine and turbo sound, updated McLaren F1LM, I'll get my letters and numbers in the right order, engine sound, Tracks, Qashqai, Minor Art and Performance Pass, Silverstone, Minor Art and Performance Pass, adjusted VIR track side cams to Snapdragon 300 and VIR full, added rain blockers to indoor section of the Speedland kart layouts. You don't want it wet when it's dry indoors. Updated trackside ads for Interlagos and Goiânia. Vehicles, Super V8, fixed incorrect team name, stock Corolla, fixed brake disc visual glitch. Not sure what the glitch was, but it's fixed. Omega stock car, fixed the RF wheel arch edge loops. Presume that's right front. Fixed base windscreen textures to fix white windscreen problem on some cars when using turn-on livery overrides. And then I think there was another minor update, which was continuing as 1.1.2.5. Fixed version number still displaying as version 1.1.2.4 in main menu instead of 1.1.2.5. So obviously it's another update to 1.1.2.5. Stock car 2020 and 2021 revised tyre carcass physics. Who writes this stuff? And who puts these words in this order that I can't pronounce? Suspension rates. Front splitter aero, reduced default caster, minor adjustments to FFB max force. Stock car cruise 2019, stiffer damper, default damper rates, minor adjustments to FFB max force, increased FFB smoothness in 60s touring cars, minor Group C soft tyre tread adjustment, Super V8, minor tyre carcass adjustment, cog height reduction, spar flankershorns, added or remaining minor trackside objects, missing start lights. Brands Edge, fixed trackside cameras not working in India layout, further trackside advertising updates for stock car tracks, stock car Corolla 2020-2021, removed Suzuki driver name sticker from steering wheel. Further trackside advertising work for stock tracks. And over here, hopefully. So there's nothing been added, then it's all sort of fairly general things that are being improved, so all good. Now, let's get on to the current version changelog, which is version 1.1.3.5. Now, the first thing to say was there were a couple of beta updates that added some other stuff that's not quite production ready, shall we say. So they've been put off until May, and they included things like some real weather, so that you could set a date and a time, and it will actually work out what the weather was historically at that point and match it to it. Now, obviously that'd be great for recreating classic races on classic circuits with classic cars, with the right weather and all that sort of thing, but if it ain't working, there's no point. So obviously it needs a bit of work because it wasn't quite right. I did try a couple of things. I sort of looked on a few weather websites that have historic data and tried to see if it'll match it, and it's no, nothing like it. So obviously it needed a bit of tweaking. But here we go. Content added, and don't forget this is the first anniversary, so there might have been a few surprises in there. Added the Formula Retro Gen 2 series featuring the Lotus 79 and a generic Formula Retro Gen 2 Model 1. Added more Jacarepagua Historical layouts. That's the 2005, the Oval, which is an oval, the Soul, and the Stock Car Roval. I'm not making words up, that's what it actually says. General, reduced multiplayer safe join buffer time in practice qualifying from 180 to 90 seconds. That means instead of being unable to join in the last 3 minutes, you'll only be able to join the last 90 seconds of any practice or qualifying session. So that gives you an extra minute and a half to get in before the end, which is quite useful if you only got like a 5 minute practice or qualifying session, because they have to do it in 5 minute lumps. It's a bloody annoyance to have to go from 5 minutes, of which you could only actually have 2 minutes, up to 10 minutes when you actually only wanted like 6 or 7 minutes. So that's a great improvement. I hope I can get rid of it completely at some point, but that will depend on whether or not they have to do anything particularly massive underlying. So, added option to set maximum limit on the number of AI in official championships. Fixed GT1 championships lap length race sessions incorrectly treated as time sessions. The bit with the setting the maximum limit on the number of AI is sort of like leading into custom championships, if I remember rightly. UI and HUD. Updated HUD will reset customizations. Restyled car info and added vehicle damage widget. Restyled taco unit. Added hints and tips to loading screens. You'll see that in a minute. Well, hopefully. Added warning to opponent settings screen when the number of opponents is greater than the number of available liveries. Fixed championship AI aggression input, not clamping to correct range. Increased loading screen tip refresh time to 20 seconds because they were disappearing a bit quick. Added wheel only option to display cockpit and driver settings. So now I think you can have wheel without hands. I'm just trying to think, is that wheel? I'll have to think about that one. That's how I usually leave the wheel on anyway with it moving, and don't very often set it to static. But you've got an extra option anyway, so play with it and see what it does. Added extra vehicle info to vehicle selection screen, informing availability of tyre compounds, DRS, boost, adjustable turbo, adjustable onboard brake bias and roll bars, headlights, pit limiter on the currently selected vehicle. Accuracy of current info pending further revisions. So in other words, if it's wrong, don't panic, but just tell them. Restyled race and test day settings screens. Fixed untranslated opponent aggression label on opponent settings screens. FFB and physics, or even physics and FFB. Fixed FFB pulling to the left under braking or to the right on power with front wheel drive vehicles only. Obviously something had gone a bit weird with the diff settings presumably to do that. Substantial reduction of friction levels for various wheel bearing models for reduced overall driveline losses, which improves the functionality in LSD cars. Better handling, entering and exiting corners, better drivability under traction and slightly higher top speeds. Basically the a reduction in the friction levels has been an ongoing thing. They've reduced them, and every time they reduce them, it does actually make the LSD's diff work a lot better. So I presume they're just trying to get the right numbers to make it so it works as expected. So getting there slowly. Updated engine torque stroke power curves to suit new wheel bearing values. GT stock proto wet tyre wear adjustments, adjusted Formula Retro, Formula Ultimate, Formula Classic, Formula V12, Formula V10, Formula Reiza, Formula Ultimate tyre carcass inflation shape, slightly steeper engine compression curve for Cosworth 1974 engine in Formula Retros, slightly higher wear rate for soft compound in GT3 P1, minor rear wing efficiency adjustments for Formula Retros, revised aero drag in Formula cars, added customised values for tyre preconditioning per car, replacing old global function, increased damage rate for grinding of clutch shifts in manual boxes. Sorry, did I say grinding of? That's grinding and clutchless shifts. Adjusted stock V8 2020-2021 Montana Formula Retro, Omega stock car, Mini UK aero yaw sensitivity, disabled onboard roll bars in GT5, GT4, GT3, Formula Retro Gen 1, Formula Reiza, Formula Ultimate. Disabled redundant turbo range in hot cars / Copa Classic cars, lowered a polar centre of gravity height, stiffened suspension rates to minimise issues with lifting inside wheels, minor adjustments to H-pattern gearbox synchro parameters, AI, increased range of AI performance and some initial compensation per series. AI calibration passed to account with the new AI range parameters and new driveline physics update. Slightly increased AI prudence against human drivers. AI aggression is now scaled down during in-out laps of practice and qualifying sessions. Fixed issue with AI skill range at extreme ends of the scale and effective lower cap of 84% in multiplayer. Fixed bug where the AI skill from personality wouldn't load properly in first session, leading to reduced spread of performance. Tracks, weather, climate and HDR revisions for more consistency across the daytime and weather variants. Minor adjustments to weather and climates for clouds and HDR behaviour. Increased maximum render distance for far terrain at higher graphic settings. Spa Francorchamps fixed bad bumps at outside runoff at Pouon and Fanges. Minor art and performance bars. Jacarepagua Historic reduced road mesh noise. Minor art optimization pass. Interlagos Historic reduced road mesh noise. Increased poly density for outer link road. Hockenheim reduced road mesh noise for all historic layouts. Cascai flipped Armco at T9. What? I presume the Armco was fixed and they fixed it. That just didn't make a lot of sense when I read it. Fix, it says. Go in here. Updated trackside data. I should really read these first and get through all the weird things that I have to read and then don't get surprised by them. Revised default date for all tracks, but it wouldn't be as funny, would it? Added VR cams for Campo Grande, Cascavel, Snetterton, Caribada, Londrina. Minor art pass to Hockenheim historic layouts. Minor art passes to Jacarepagua and Spielberg. Vehicles adjusted load settings for wheel and tyres in open wheel cars to avoid gaps between transitions at lower detail levels. Fixed dark external mirrors in several Formula cars. Corrected suspension animation to account for camber settings in Formula Vintage cars, Formula Classic Gen 3, Formula V10 Gen 2. Sigma P1 fixed glitch on cockpit front end. Formula Trainer Advanced fixed suspension artifacts on cockpit view. Added missing chassis parts to cockpit view. Fixed chassis parts misplacement in LOD A. Formula Vintage fixed engine damage issue. Chevette fixed cockpit red paint issue. And that is that. Whew. Don't know about you, I'm knackered after that. Yeah, come here, chap. Right, we have two new Formula Retro GE Gen 2 cars. We have the Reiza generic Formula Retro with quite a nice selection of liveries, and we'll just pick that one just for the hell of it. Quick look in the showroom, and very nice it is too. Oh, look at that, all that engine pornography there. And then we have the Type 79. Quick look in the showroom. It's only got 4. Was it 4 or was it 6? 4 or 6 liveries. We'll have a look in a second because I'm a prat and forgot to look first. Just trying to remember if they had a Type 79 at the Lotus Snetterton that I went to a few years ago. We'll have to have a look from my photo glass and have a look. Nice. Put this out of focus, otherwise you'll be able to see the skirt alongside here, which is where it's attempting to stop the air escaping for the what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, 6. What's the word? Ground fit. That's the words. That's the words I'm looking for. Now, look up here. We've got tyre components available, drive layout type, loads of information about onboard roll bars, brake bars, etc. So loads more information here. Oops, get back to that car. I want that one. So loads of information now. Hopefully they'll get it so it's all absolutely correct. So you can play top trumps with your cars now. Circuit wise, we have the original Jacarepagua 1988 that was already in there. We've now got the 2005 version, which is tighter in some places, less tight in others. The oval, which is not oval. This is the stock car one, I think. And that's the short, but is that what they call the Roval? I think that must be I think that was the SL or whatever it was, and that's the Roval. But what we'll have a look at is we'll go for the 2005 one. We'll be silly and we'll use the older car with the newer circuit. Yeah, I'm like that. I haven't driven the car. I had about one lap round the oval with a gamepad just for a laugh, but otherwise I basically haven't driven it, so I've got no idea what it's going to be like. Which means, as usual, I'll probably make a complete plonker of myself. So, whilst we're in here, we'll have a quick look at the HUD layout. Right, this is slightly revised, I believe. This being the Speedo, which is either off or minimal. Presumably there will be a full version. They did say they're going to do some more changes there. And then the damage, etc. one, which if you get a minimal, gets rid of the damage for suspension. So you just left with effectively body and engine damage in this. Then I think we've got so tyre pressures, and I'm not sure if that's temperatures. I think that's temperatures. Like I said, I haven't actually taken much notice of it, so if you put it on the full, you'll get any damage. I think I've got damage turned off at the moment anyway, so I should have it so that hopefully it's my ugly mug in the corner with other shit around it. So I will say I don't see the point in having like tyres there and then tyres here if it truly is pressure, but I'm meant to be turning right, aren't I hope. So this is what the 2005, hello people, they all look socially distanced to me. No masks though, but there wasn't a pandemic in 2005, so yeah, it looks like that's temperature. Sounds nice. Despite fairly cold tyres, it actually feels like it's got loads of front end grip. Then it's using ground effect, so as we go faster it should just get more and more mentally mad with the amount of grip it's giving. So oh shit. Clutchless changes don't work as well as they did. I think they've changed the timing slightly. Probably would have been better either going to a circuit I know well, or using the car I know well for the circuit I didn't know. So now this is obviously part of the oval, and I'm using the H pattern with a full with a clutch rather than an auto clutch, so excuse my gear changes as well, but it's much tighter corner than the older circuit. Oh, turn. Yes, that's considerably different. I mean, I haven't driven around Jacarepagua for a few weeks anyway, so I was generally fairly lost, but some of the corners are a lot tighter and some are more open, so it's slightly confusing. I just feel the back end trying to step out of it, so now, was this an ultra tight corner or was this a not so tight corner? I can't remember now. It was this. Was it the next one that was stupidly tight? Whoa! Yes, I think it would have definitely been better off using a track I know well for this particular new car experience, but I have to say the car is feeling rather nice. I'm sure that's a slightly shorter run between those two corners, but definitely giving good feeling of what the front end's doing as it's understeering a bit. And the track looks very nice, like I said. It would certainly have helped to go to a track I know better. Yeah, that's definitely tighter than the older version of Jacarepagua, isn't it? The car does feel nicely balanced in its default setup. Oh, I keep forgetting how tight that is. Tyres are definitely a bit chilly, but whether that's because they're meant to be hard slicks, I don't know. Very nice front end on it. It's works into a little bit of understeer quite nicely. All feels very controlled and predictable. No strange surprises. You see it's letting the back end slide around quite nicely. I'm not sure if that's meant to be the edge of the track where that white line is or not. I thought it was at this corner just then, so oops. Silly boy, in the wrong place. Let's just quick replay. Turn off. Obviously could do with a slightly different camera there. That's better. There's an actual car down there. I have to say, if the generic Formula Retro is as nice as this, then great couple of editions, I think. Obviously, like I said, it's literally, other than a lap or two around the oval, it's literally the first time I tried it, and the first time with a wheel as well. So, lovely car. I can see that will get a lot of use and will be used by a lot of people for a bit of Sunday entertainment, I suspect, this weekend. So that's the state of play as is. Press the button and I can do that. Sounds nice as well. So, there you have it. That's the latest update and a quick look around the 2005 version of the track, which, like I said, is slightly different to the 1988 in a few ways. It confused the crap out of me, basically. So, yeah, I definitely think there's one or two corners are a bit more open, one or two are a bit more tight, shall we say. So, but I think that will do for now, because I've got half an hour to sort some shit out, so, or an hour. What's the time? I passed. Better get on with it. So, from me, for now, enjoy your racing, have fun, stay safe, keep away from other people, don't be a tosser and all that stuff, and thanks for all the chocolate. Yes, Charger, I'm talking to you, mate. See you later, and goodbye.